welcome to Titanium Talks Tarot, and tonight I will be doing another one of Ryan Blair's 50 Principles. This one is number 48. We are nearing the end. Alright, and this one's called Your Courage Comes from Covenants. Okay, so what is covenants? Covenants are agreements that you make to yourself. So basically, Ryan writes out promises that he makes to himself in regards to what type of individual he's going to be and how he's going to conduct himself. Those are covenants that he makes with himself. Those are agreements that he made with himself. He continues to strongly suggest that we also write covenants with ourselves and that we uphold them by conducting ourselves accordingly so that we can maintain what we signed with ourselves, right? Like they're contracts that we make with ourselves. Now, the recipe for courage, all right, implies that we write a vow, that we make a list of covenants, agreements with ourselves, and that we conduct ourselves accordingly. That is the best way to accomplish an objective, is to act accordingly. Now, courage is a superpower when you know what you're committed to. Okay? Now, I can suggest something here, or I can use an example of my own. After my accident, alright, I noticed that I was not anywhere near where I wanted to be. So I made a commitment to myself. I made a covenant with myself. I promised myself that I would give myself 5 years to get better from my accident. Okay? And I didn't really have like a roadmap to how I was going to get there. I just knew that if I continued working on it, I would accomplish it. And so once I got to the 5-year mark, I've mentioned this a couple of times, not necessarily in this video series, but I've talked about this a lot. And so at the 5-year mark, I looked at my life and I asked myself, do I want to stop trying to improve myself, or am I going to continue? Because I had given myself that 5-year mark, right? And I realized that I had gotten better, but I wasn't perfection. I wanted to be perfection. So much so that if people were to meet me, they would not know that I was hit by a car, other than if they saw my scars or if I told them. And I have achieved that, okay? But it took some time. Let me tell you. So my agreement to myself was 5 years. So I got to the 5-year mark, and I was good. I was better than what I was before, but I wasn't perfect. And I was like, do I continue or do I stop here? And like about a week after, I was like, I can't stop here. I'm like, it's like I'm like an unfinished project. I just can't. So I continued. And it took me 7 years. In actuality, it took me 7.5 years. Or 7 years precise, more or less, to get to what I wanted to get to. And that was me being well overall. There was still, at the 7-year mark, there was still some finesse that needed to happen. But I was pretty good, right? So if you would have seen me, you would not have known. So it was pretty good, but it wasn't perfection. Right now, we are nearing the 15-year mark, and almost twice as much as, 2 times the 7 years. And now I'm even better than I was before. So I'm happy I didn't stop, because if I had stopped at 5, I would not have been able to at least reach the 7 or perfect myself till 7 and farther than that. Okay, there would still be a sense of something's off. I mean, the only time you get the something's off sense is when I'm really, 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 really tired. But even that is starting to wane off. So I'm actually very pleased with the fact that I've kept at it and I've continued to push myself and getting better. And at this point, I've gotten myself to such a point that I can't really, like, mentioning that I've had an accident. People are like, what? Where? like, uh, and I feel like I can't mention it anymore because I've pushed myself to such an extent that no one, no one can say so. The only people that sometimes say that it's due to the accident or whatever, it's my family, and that's because they've known me from before the accident. But I believe that I'm better than the accident. So basically, write covenants with yourself and uphold them. Okay? Because when you get to the other side of that agreement, you are going to be so pleased and proud of yourself. Like, I am so proud of me. And if you are ever able to complete a task and be proud of yourself as well, I mean, no one can take that away from you. I mean, so I used to be bullied, picked on, and teased when I was a child. And I used to be shunned from my own cultural, my own culture because I was just too weird. Now, so they wrote it off as Talar the weird one. I'm generalizing and I'm not sure if that's exactly what happened, but that's the impression that I got. So don't just keep in mind that this is my impression. And I feel like at this point, people dislike me even more because me having been hit by a car and having been able to bounce back, have proven to them that they have no reason to not take care of themselves. Okay? I mean, it is what it is. If you want to get better, you can get better, and I'm proof. And that might be a little annoying to most. So, I mean, it's kind of a drag for them, but it's a plus for me because I'm like, I always knew that I was meant to teach or to inspire, and now I know why, and now I know how. Because back in the day, it used to be me trying to, like, it sounded like I was being bossy, but now I'm not bossy. I'm just showing the example, and people just can't refute my example because it is what it is. Anyway, so my gorgeous triple tears, this is all that I have for you guys for today's video. If you like this and if you'd like me to go deeper into your specific situation, please contact me at the email in the box below, and it'll be my pleasure to assist. In that same box, you'll find a little description of this video and the email you can send donations to on PayPal if you feel so called. And that being said, I wish you guys all a very good night, and I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye.